Episode 531. The match kicked off quickly. With the two substitutes aside, the 10 characters entered the map and immediately began their deployment. Chen Guo had been watching Yi Shu stare intently at the projection screen for a good while before she finally spoke up.
So, what do you think?
Boss, you're in no shape to watch this. Just go upstairs and get some sleep. I'll let you know the result when it's done.
Yi Shu could only sigh in resignation.
I don't care. I just want to hear your opinion, okay?
If you listen to my opinion, it usually just ends up being a spoiler.
Although Yi Shu had seen through the situation and predicted the outcome more than once, calling his own deductions spoilers was so shameless it left Chen Guo speechless. The image of the great god was crumbling in Chen Guo's mind. Chen Guo figured that if she kept living this close to Ye Shu for another month, at most, her sense of worship for the great Ye Shu would vanish without a trace.
Watch closely. It's starting.
The team battle is just as thrilling, Ye Shu remarked, not one bit less exciting than the duel between those two masters. Yu Wenzhou is indeed hailed as one of Glory's 4 great tactical masters, but there's always been a saying in the Alliance, if the number wasn't limited to 4, and we were to pick 5, then the one who would undoubtedly make the cut is Wang Jixi. So, even without the official title, Wang Jixi clearly possessed the caliber to match it. Leading Tiny Herb to 2 championship victories was no fluke. This team battle was a clash of tactics, a contest of skill, with sneak attacks and head-on clashes, a dazzling display of fire and fury. In no time at all, the match had reached its mid-game phase. The broadcast cuts were dizzying, and the director was in a real bind. There were simply too many brilliant moments, and cutting any one of them felt like a genuine loss.
Wang Jixi is carrying far too heavy a burden.
Right at that moment, Yi Shu suddenly spoke up.
Distracted.
Chen Guo replied. This time, Chen Guo watched the team match with such rapt attention that she completely forgot to ask about the result.
Tiny Herb's in a bit of a tight spot right now.
Seriously? You figured that out too?
Chen Guo thought. You didn't say anything when I asked, but now that I haven't, you're spoiling it.
Wang Jixi really does need someone to help share the burden.
What about Dang Fusheng or Li Yihui?
The 2 players Chen Guo mentioned were both from Tiny Herb team, selected as all-stars.
You know, if they weren't a Tiny Herb, those 2 probably wouldn't have made the all-star team.
You're saying...
Being elected to the all-stars isn't about skill. It's about fame, your pull with the fans. While these things are ultimately earned through outstanding performance, there are always other factors at play. For instance, on a weaker team, an individual's formidable strength is often more apparent. Conversely, on a strong team, a player's shortcomings can be masked by the team's overall outstanding performance.
So you're saying Dang Fusheng and Li Yihui are the latter type. They only got into the All-Stars because of Tiny Herb's championship halo.
My point is, being an all-star doesn't automatically mean you're the absolute best in the league. Take Deng Fusheng's knight, for example. I think 301's Xu Bin is even better than him.
Demon King Xu Bin?
Of course, Chen Guo knew who he was.
Right. If Tiny Herb didn't have Wang Jixi, or if Wang Jixi was off his game, their team performance would suffer. They rely on him too much. Glory has evolved far beyond the age of individual heroism. The gap between players keeps narrowing. To be considered truly outstanding, a team must generate a synergy where 1 + 1 is greater than 2.
So, do you think there's a team like that in the Alliance right now?
Blue Rain. The team that comes closest to that future trend is definitely Blue Rain. But it's also kind of tragic. Blue Rain's captain, Yu Wenzhou, is their absolute cornerstone. Yet, it's also because of his infamous handicap that swept the pro scene. It really holds the team back a lot.
I've heard about it.
Chen Guo nodded. Yu Wenzhou's handicap was no more a secret than Huang Shaotian's chatterbox tendencies.
But it's a good thing he's handicapped. He'll definitely be the one who lasts the longest in the Alliance. Honestly, his APM is already so low there's no room left for it to degrade any further. I'm starting to wonder if this guy is deliberately not training his APM, intentionally maintaining this crippled state to extend his career longevity in the pro scene.
Stamina?
Hearing Yi Shu use an in-game name to describe something in real life gave Chen Guo a strange sense of displacement. As the two of them chatted, the match on the field raged on without pause, and the situation's development was once again heading exactly where Ye Shu had predicted. Tiny Herb team had lost their first player, a dangerous signal in a team battle, and the trend was becoming increasingly clear. By the time Tiny Herb finally took down Blue Rain's first player, they had already lost 3 of their own. The situation was now 5 against 3. For a powerhouse team like this, turning the tables was no easy feat. In the end, Blue Rain smoothly and predictably defeated Tiny Herb, securing the 5 points for the team battle and coming from behind to take the lead. Blue Rain secured 6 points this round, putting them 2 points ahead of Tiny Herb team.
If you don't fix a problem that's been around for ages, your opponent will eventually find it and use it against you.
Ishu's final analysis, of course, pointed to Tiny Herb's fatal flaw, their over-reliance on Wang Jishi. The broadcast commentators and guests were also chattering away, dissecting every detail and misstep of the team battle. They listed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the key mistakes that led to Tiny Herb's final defeat, and ultimately singled one out as the decisive turning point of the match. From start to finish, the issue Yishu had pointed out was never once mentioned. Chen Guo listened, her mind a blur. To be honest, she'd heard what Yishu said, but she hadn't seen a single thing he was talking about. She, on the other hand, found the commentators and guest analysts' 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breakdown to be quite technically impressive. Yi Shu's explanation sounded a bit ethereal.
Guess my skills just aren't up to par.
Chen Guo said. Before, she would have had reason to suspect Yi Shu was just boasting. But now, knowing Yi Shu's identity, Chen Guo felt that even if it was a bit of a stretch, his words carried more weight than those of the commentator or the guest.
All right, that's it.
Yi Shu said as he stood up, stretching his arms.
Time to get back to leveling.
With that, he headed for his usual seat. Watching that retreating figure, Chen Guo felt another pang of frustration. What a colossal waste of talent. Here's a guy who can see right through the intentions of the top-tier pros on the field, even predict the final outcome of their matches, and yet he's stuck in his little internet cafe, grinding away at quests and dungeons like any other ordinary player, barely past level 40 in the new server.
You have to go pro.
Chen Guo turned back to look at the huge projection screen and clenched her fist.